Shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Mahawakwadash, Yahweh, which is the only true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his only true name is Yahushai. I would like to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the Servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And pretty much this lesson is going to be an edification lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Now, one of my beloved brothers that's in my camp, he did a beautiful lesson, all right? And the lesson that he did was basically, teaching the correct doctrine, continuing teaching what you've learned from Great Millstone, all right? You don't want to be teaching something new, all right? And if you are teaching something new, it better be according to the doctrine. It better be the same exact doctrine what Great Millstone has taught us, all right? Because everything the elders have taught, all right, has been taught for many years, all right? So there isn't really nothing new that you can teach. The elders always taught us to teach what we know. You don't want to teach nothing new. Because if you're teaching something new that no one has ever heard, it could be false doctrine, all right? Or it can be your own doctrine, which you don't want to do, all right? So we're going to bring some examples out for edification's sake. So you don't want to teach nothing new. You want to teach what you've learned, all right? That's a big difference, all right? So, this is just an edification video, and, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Now, the precept that I'm going to get out is 1 Timothy 4, and we're going to go down to Salakia. 1 Timothy 4 and go down to verse 14. All right, because you can't teach nothing new. All right, now you can teach, the correct doctrine that you probably, haven't broke down before. Learning and studying on a Great Millstone, you teaching, a particular breakdown that the elders have taught, but that's not something new. That's something that's already been brought forth. You just, bringing it out. You may, speak a little different, a little reworded a little bit different, but you're bringing out the same exact thing that the elders teach. So that doesn't make it new. All right. And this is 1 Timothy 4 and 14. So individuals out there, you got to be careful what you're saying, because if the elders come across you saying something like that, you could get put up as an example. This isn't directed to any, brother out there, but just a heads up. You want to be careful what you say in your videos, because if an elder come across something like that, or you teaching something like that, you could get put up as an example. So you want to really examine and exhort what you say. This is 1 Timothy 4 and 14. It says, neglect not the gift that is in thee. Right. Each brother in this truth has their own gift that the Lord gave them. So if a brother's teaching Deuteronomy 28:68, and that's all he knows for the time coming in, then he is to teach that. If he grows a little bit more in the truth and he understands the breakdown of Genesis 49, and the Lord gave him that gift to be able to break that down, then he's going to keep breaking that down. If a brother's able to break down Daniel 7, at one time when he came into the truth, he probably didn't understand. He probably didn't fully have the proper understanding on how to break down Daniel 7, but the Lord gave him the gift to be able to properly, correctly break it down. Now he can do it. Now he's doing that. That's not something new. That's something that he learned from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, it's the same thing. All right, that doesn't make it something new. So you want to be careful for that. That just makes it something that he learned and he's teaching, which is the same thing. All right. So you want to be careful what you're saying, all right? Each brother has their own gift. Some brothers is able to break down certain breakdowns that other brothers can't. Some brothers learn faster than other brothers. Each brother has their own gift. You are required to use that gift. It says, neglect not the gift that is in thee, all right, which was given thee by prophecy, because the Lord gave each brother in this truth their own gift. Some brothers can break down certain breakdowns that other brothers can't break down. Some brothers learn faster than other brothers. Some brothers have their own, gift that the Lord gave them, and they have to use that gift. All right. But again, saying that you got to learn something new, you got to be careful saying that. It says, with the lying on of the hands of the presbytery, and the presbytery is the elders. All right. We learn from the elders. All right, they gave us 100% truth. And when we learn what they teach, and we learn that, we take notes under them, we study it, and then we start doing it. That's not teaching something new. That's teaching the same exact thing which was taught already, but we're teaching it. Because what? We're laboring. So that's how you want to be. You want to be on one accord. All right? You want to be on one accord. All right? You don't want to be on a different accord. You're teaching something new. Because if you're teaching something new, you're teaching something that the elders isn't teaching. Because that's what the elders say all the time. You know, a lot of jakes want to learn something new. They tired of hearing the same thing. Well, you want to hear the same thing. You don't ever want to go on to something new that you ain't heard, because that's false doctrine. So be careful using that. Again, be careful using that. All right? Be careful using that term in your videos, because if the elders catch you saying that, and I'm just speaking for myself first and foremost, you know, that slips out telling people that come across your videos you supposed to teach something new. You want to be careful saying that. Because the elders will rebuke you and will put you up as an example. They'll assume that you're teaching false doctrine, because we teach the same thing as Great Millstone. We don't teach nothing new. That's already been taught. That's not new. All right? That's learning. All right? Teaching the same thing. This is, and we're going to get this out. 1 Timothy 4:11. These things command and teach. See, these things command and teach. All right. The Lord set up prophets. We understand and know that those men are the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So we learned from them, and we're teaching the same exact thing as what they teach, because the Lord set those men up. The elders and apostles of Great Millstone, they had their elders that they learned from. All right. And they learned from their elders, and so on and so forth on down. Now we learned from our elders. We are required to teach what? The same exact thing that they teach. All right. That is recommended of us. That is required of us, to teach the same thing, not something new. That's not according to the doctrine. All right? Because the elders talk about that all the time. You got jakes wanting to learn something new. No, you want to learn the same thing. You want to learn the same thing. Yeah, the same things. You hear them teach the same things. That's great. You want to hear the same thing, so it can be embedded in your spirit to teach the correct thing. You don't want to hear something new. That's what causes a lot of jakes to be bugged out, because they get tired of hearing the same thing and they want to hear something different. So they go on to them other doctrines that's something different from Great Millstone. So don't say that. All right, don't tell people to learn something new. You want to tell them to learn the same thing and grow. That's what they are to do. Learn the same thing as Great Millstone and grow. Because learning from somebody is not something new. It's learning the same thing, the correct thing. All right. This is 1 Timothy 4:11. It says, these things command and teach. See, let no man despise thy youth. It says, be thou example to the believers. See, so you are an example to the believers. So when you tell jakes that they got to learn something new, all right, or they're new in this thing, you're telling them, you guys got to learn something new. You're telling them to go and do their own thing. Go and teach something that Great Millstone don't teach. You're putting them into a bad situation. You want to tell them to learn from Great Millstone. Teach the same exact thing, not something new. All right? Because everything we teach has already been taught already years ago. So there's nothing new. That's my main point. You can't teach something new, because what we teach, the elders taught years ago. It's the same thing, but we're working out our own salvation with fear and trembling. So don't tell jakes that's new that come into this thing to learn something new. Don't tell them that. Tell them to learn the correct doctrine as Great Millstone. Teach the same thing. Not tell them they need to learn something new, teach something new. You don't say that, because when you tell them that, they'll be simple and thinking that they're supposed to go and come up with their own breakdowns. Now you scatter in a flock, you see? So you don't want to do that. 1 Timothy 4:12, it says, let no man despise thy youth. It says, be thou example to the believers in word. So you want to be careful what you say. That's why the elders say, be careful what you say. Because the smallest thing that you didn't mean to say can turn into something big and can mislead an individual. You want to be careful what you say in word, in conversation, what you say. You want to be careful for that. All right. It says in charity, in spirit, and faith, and purity. So you want to be careful what you say. You are an example to the believers. That's why the elders say you want to be careful what you teach and what you say. Don't say don't tell jakes that's new in the truth, because you don't know who coming across your videos and you telling them that they are to learn something new. Don't tell them that. You know, they are to grow in the truth. Yeah. But you don't tell them to teach something new. Don't tell them that. Tell them they are to learn and grow in the truth, not learn something new, teach something new. You don't do that, because there's nothing new that we're teaching. Things that we're teaching, the elders, apostles, Great Millstone taught already. So that's not new. The scriptures even say there's nothing new. So why would you teach something new? That don't make no sense. You got to really understand that. This is 1 Timothy 4:13. Till I come. See, till Yahushua come. All right. Give attendance to reading, exhortation, watching what you say, watch what you bring out, watch how you present yourself with exhortation. It says to doctrine, to doctrine. So you want to be teaching the correct doctrine. You want to be teaching the 100% truth. All right. Who has the 100% truth? The elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Those men have the 100% truth. So you want to teach the same exact thing as Great Millstone. You don't want to teach something new. Because if you're teaching something new, you clearly coming up with your own interpretation, which is contrary to the doctrine, which is contrary to the gospel. And you don't want to teach nothing new. You want to teach the same thing as Great Millstone. You don't want to teach nothing new because you're teaching something that's outside of the doctrine. Now you're going off. So you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be having Jakes fall off into that type of mindset, man. So we're to teach the doctrine. What Great Millstone teach, we're required to teach because we learn from them. That's what we teach. Nothing new, nothing different. The same exact thing. The doctrine matters. All right. So you got to be careful what you say on your videos. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying brothers is doing this, but you just got to be careful in general what you say. I'm speaking for myself first and foremost. 1 Timothy 4:14. It says, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy. It says, with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. Verse 15, meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them that, it says, meditate upon these things. It says, give thyself wholly to them that thy profiting may appear to all. Verse 16, this is the main point. Take heed unto thyself. So take heed unto yourself and onto the doctrine. So you don't want to tell, Jakes that are new in this thing to teach something new, learn something new. All right. There's nothing new in the scriptures. All right. You want to learn and grow in this truth. Don't tell Jakes to learn and teach something new, because they're going to have the mind. See, what you might be interpreting it could be different to a particular individual, because they'll use that shit and say, oh, he's telling me to teach something new and learn something new, so I got to, come up with my own doctrine, basically. No. You want to learn and grow, not teach something new and learn something new. You don't tell them that. It says, take heed unto thyself. See, take heed unto yourself and onto the doctrine. All right. So you got to continue in 100% truth. Tell brothers they are to learn and grow, not teach and learn something new. That's a big error, because you could be having them go off doing that. It says continue in them. See, the scriptures tell us to continue in it, not to go away from it, not to add to it, not to do any of that. It says, for in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. Right, because you got people that come across your videos. And if you telling somebody, you need to learn something new, brothers, you need to learn something new, you need to teach something new, they're going to have it in their head that they're supposed to read the scriptures, come up with their own breakdowns and their own doctrines. That's the agenda that you're pushing. Now, to you, you might not be saying that. You might be interpreting it as for them to learn and grow. But you got to be specific what you say in your videos. Because if you're telling somebody to learn something new and teach something new, they're going to interpret it to go out and teach something different, teach something that nobody ain't ever heard before, which can be going off. And you don't want that. You don't want that to happen. You shouldn't want that to happen. All right. Because then that individual that you told to teach something new, he goes and do that. Now an elder or a brother come across his video because he learned from your channel. You tell him to teach something new and learn something new. Now he's going off on a particular doctrine. Now he's put up as an example because he watched your video and you told him to learn and teach something new. No, tell him to grow and to learn this truth, grow and teach. Not learn something new, teach something new. No, you just gotta be specific in what you say. Because you don't know who's watching. And if you teaching something like that in a simple-minded Jake, Jake is simple. When they're new in this truth, they're simple. They don't fully understand what you say. So you got to be, specific as possible, Because you'll mess around and bug an individual out. Now he's put up as an example because you told him to teach something new and learn something new. What we're learning, the elders taught already. It's the same thing. They want to grow in the truth. Learn this truth and grow. Not teach something new, learn something new. All right? You don't want to ever do that. You can cause an individual to be, put up as an example. He can be bugged out. He can be going off on the scriptures. That's why the elders say be careful what you say. So, hey, man, I just wanted to do a little quick hitter on that, man, and we are to teach the same exact thing as Great Millstone. All right. We are to continue into learning in the doctrine to grow. That's the best way to say it, to grow. So, hey, Lord, one is that's edifying. I want to give honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahshai, B'Hashem HaKakodash. Peace, blessings, salutations, stoleful lake, and shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servants of Yahweh Yahawashi Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch, and Lord willing, that's edifying. So yeah, man, just a heads up, man, edification video for myself or to any brother out there. Be careful what you say in your videos, because if the elders catch you saying something like that, you will be put up as an example, and you will get rebuked. So you want to be careful saying that. So, it's best to say, brothers, to learn and grow in this truth. All right? Grow in this truth. Not teach something new, learn something new. All right? So, hey, Lord willing, that's edifying. Until next time I say, shalom.